welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be having a special guest. I hope you'll enjoy this topic. If you could take this time to share out this live, that'd be great. We'll be with you shortly.
I woke up and realized the world's on fire. That's when I laughed and poured a glass of wine, just staring at the TV, trying to find some meaning, hoping that I'll wake up from this dream sometime tomorrow. Well, the night came and went, not a damn thing had changed. That's when a tear fell from my eye. I thought, what are we gonna do? What's this world coming to? How can we change it? And how do we recover? The world's on fire and only we can save us. It's a heavy load. The road is long and we only begun to fight. We can't give in, we can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light.
Hey everyone, how are you guys?
Hey everyone, how are you guys? Wait a minute, you just said
Hi Nina and Jason and Kevin and Tired. Welcome in everybody.
yes, hello everyone. Acknowledge me.
Hi Raven.
You all have been acknowledged. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. Eddie has to jet out of here a little fast. Um, if you were a member, I hope you watched the members only video I put out, just a little snippet of Saturdays so you could see what we caught. And today we're going to read some paranormal Reddit. So we're going to hear about people's paranormal stories. So
Mhm.
I didn't want to have Eddie do anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the story, Eddie, and then we'll talk about this and if anybody else has ever experienced anything like these things.
Yep.
So this is kind of a short one. Many years ago, and this is called the Shadow Man. Many years ago, when I was about 9, I went downstairs to grab a cookie that my mom made, and I grabbed it and I took a bite. And for some reason, outside the dining room window, I looked over and there was a shadow. It was wearing a big top hat and a trench coat kind of looking thing with the collar part sticking up like a stereotypical movie of a detective coat. It had something in its hand that kind of looked like a flashlight, except it wasn't on, and it was a little weird looking. This was 10 years ago, and I remember basically every detail. It didn't look like a ghost or entity at the time. I was 9 years old, though. I thought it was a detective coming to arrest me for stealing the cookie when my mom said I couldn't have it. Then about 5 years ago, I saw a video about an entity called the Hat Man, and it immediately unlocked that memory. And now every once in a while, I think about it. I wonder why I saw it. Why, um, Was he holding that thing? What was it? Why didn't he see me? Um, People say it might have been sleep paralysis, but I was fully awake. What do you guys think?
Wow.
So that was her story. I mean, 9 years old, but obviously she saw something at that window, and I really hope it was an entity and not somebody stalking them,
Yeah,
like a real person, but.
yeah, it'd be hard to call it sleep paralysis when you're 9 years old.
Yeah.
So she saw something.
Mhm.
Just my opinion.
I think so too.
What do you guys think? Tired said, "I'll be right back."
Okay, well, we'll be here.
Yep, we'll be here.
I have been watching your videos, Christina. I hope you've been enjoying them, Jason. We have another one, and this one maybe more people can relate to. I think my grandmother came to me in a dream because I didn't know she had passed at the time that she had the dream, I guess. About a year ago, my grandmother passed away suddenly. It was unexpected and happened very quickly. She didn't she didn't have time, of course, to say goodbye or anything. A few weeks after she had died, I had a dream that felt different from any other dream I've had. She was sitting at her kitchen table like she always used to. When she saw me, she looked confused and asked where she was and what was happening. I looked at her and said, Grandma, you passed away. She paused for a second and just said, Oh, okay. She didn't seem scared or upset, just like she was taking in the information. Then she told me she keeps seeing a warm light, that she doesn't know what it is, but it keeps calling to her. I told her it was a good place, that her sister and her parents are there waiting for her, that it's peaceful and they'd love to see her again. But I made sure to tell her it was her choice. She didn't have to go right away. She could stay as long as she wanted. Well, that wasn't probably good advice. But anyway, she thought about it for a moment and said she was going to wait a little while. I started crying in the dream and just smiled and then it started settling in. I was trying to make her comfortable. Then I woke up. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel like a regular dream. It felt like I was actually talking to her, like I was at her place talking to her. Like she needed someone to tell her what happened because she left so suddenly and she didn't realize she was gone. I still think about it a lot. I hope she's at peace now. Wow.
I think there was a message in there.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we get deja vu's or premonitions of what's to come. And from the way it sounds to me, uh, there was a message.
Oh yeah.
That's how I'm taking it. So when we have dreams, sometimes we don't even remember our dreams. However, it could be a couple weeks later, we'll see something that brings that dream back to mind, which is deja vu.
Yeah.
And then that's when you catch the message and you'll be like, oh, now I understand what the dream was about.
Yep. I try, if I remember even a little bit, to write them down. I have a dream diary,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know.
Right.
They
Hey,
might really been trying to tell me something important.
hey,
Similar what happened to me, but it was advice from my granddad. Oh, that's so sweet.
shout out to the Redneck Connection. He said, a quick prayer for the homeless in my area. A freak storm with temps in the 20s with 25 to 35 mile per hour winds and 50 mile per hour gusts and 1 to 3 inches of snow. You are definitely in our prayers.
Redneck connection. Yes, we will. All those. I hope everybody got to a safe place.
Yes, I pray for all of you, Redneck. I hope that you guys are safe. I wish nothing but love on you, and just know that God is watching out for you, and everything's gonna be okay. Just believe that, and it will. Just believe that, and I pray.
Kyle,
That.
welcome in, hon. I hope you're doing okay.
Hello, Yankee Kyle.
And anyone else who snuck in when I wasn't watching, hello to you. I was reading, so I didn't see, but hi, Krista. Okay,
Night
so
Girl, a New Hampshire girl. Is that right?
uh,
New Hampshire girl, fam? Krista?
she NH girl is Krista. Yes.
Yeah, but I always wondered the NH was that either New Haven or New Hampshire? Just out of curiosity, I've always
What
wondered
does
that.
the NH stand for, Krista? We never asked. Okay, here we go. I noticed a few odd things after losing my cat. I lost my 16-year-old cat recently. Over the past few days, I've noticed a few small things that stood out to me. Birds have been flying unusually close to me, and my car has had more bird droppings than usual. Okay. Today, while drinking coffee, I saw a shape in the form that resembled my cat, and then it shifted into a heart. Other people around me actually noticed it too. I'm just sharing this experience because I'm curious. Has anyone else noticed similar coincidences after losing pets or loved ones?
Well, on a bird, I want to say like I believe that if you see a cardinal or um, a sparrow, that's a loved one coming to visit you. Um, Naturally, when a bird follows you, it can signify curiosity, maybe looking for food. Uh,
Yeah.
but that there is a spiritual message of guidance, protection, and transformation. So I do want to clarify that. So that's what that's basically saying,
Yeah.
spiritually.
But yeah, but the other thing, while she was drinking coffee, I saw a shape in the foam that resembled my cat. And then it shifted into a heart. Other people around me noticed it too. That's super interesting.
That
I
is
think
a
if I
yeah,
would
that's a
see
sign.
my coffee foam, switching into things, I don't know if I would drink it and I'd be upset.
Yeah, that's a sign.
I don't know. Especially if it was like at a coffee shop, $7. No. You know.
Yeah, that to me, that's also a sign of a loved one trying to get your attention. Maybe it's a loved one that love coffee.
True story, because I would definitely be drinking people's coffee when I'm on
Right.
the
So
other.
yeah, again, these are signs, and
Yeah. So
sometimes we don't catch them.
oh wait, let's see. Christina is like Aunt Eddie is like my uncle, and Jen is my other aunt. Yeah.
I was
I
right.
had a
New
dream.
Hampshire. I'm sorry.
Krista says I had a dream on my birthday back in 2021 or 2022, shortly after the wifey passed, of her sister visiting me. I can still hear both their voices, smell how they smelt, plus what they were wearing. And NH stands for New Hampshire.
Right. Um, Krista, that means they're still around you. That's why you still smell them. They're still around you. And as long as you keep that love for them and thinking about
Right.
them, they'll always be around.
That's right. I'm curious of what, like, in these posts, they have people who answer, like, so what's the top comment on hers? I wish I experienced something like that, but I did have a dream of my cat. last month. I want to say it was like the 20th. It involved him being perfect, with his right leg no longer in it. I guess the cat's right leg is messed up, so she saw the cat fine.
Mm.
Oh, um, but most of them all said sorry for the loss of your cat. Sometimes they. This one's cute. I saw my guardian angel a couple of nights ago. Have you seen yours? So my sleep has always been terrible, from nightmares and night terrors as a kid to sleep paralysis and sleepwalking as an adult. Recently, I've been jumping headfirst off the recliner. I often sleep on my recliner because I'm missing half of my left leg, and it's just easier to get up in the morning. I've hurt myself so many times in my sleep, from dreaming I was choking and waking up, to me trying to choke myself, to all sorts of stuff, to waking up mid fall and breaking a finger. Um, I woke up head first one time going head first into a pane of glass I had leaning up against the wall. So she's had a lot of things happen. Um, but as I was falling into the mirror, this pane of glass, in my peripheral view, there was a woman gliding towards me. She looked to be about uh, a person with like a 60s style, even a 60s hairdo. She had pinkish colored flesh. Um, Regardless to say, I did not get one nick from all those shards of glass that cracked when the glass cracked, even though I went head first into it. Not one cut on my shirtless body. That to me is amazing. I was lying on top of countless sharp shards and had to push myself up with my hands pressing down on them. I instantly got up and said thank you. I have never gotten that freaking lucky. Not one tiny puncture. I'm wondering if anybody else seen their guardian angel. Well, yeah, they figured you had enough. Wow.
Um, when now this is just my interpretation. I'm thinking as I'm going along.
Yeah.
When you wake up falling and breaking a finger,
Hi,
uh,
Robert.
it may symbolize a wake up call from the universe. So it's not just from anybody, but the universe. Uh,
Yeah.
it could indicate loss of balance or inner conflict, um, or a need for spiritual awakening. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, this is my take on it, and I'm thinking this as I'm going. Um, it can serve as a reminder to re-examine your priorities. So there's just something to think about and pay more
Yeah.
close attention to your surroundings.
That's a true story. I love that he saw this woman though, and he miraculously didn't get any cuts or anything.
Right. Uh, Hello, Robert and Jason and Yankee Kyle and Kev. I'm gonna acknowledge you guys. I'm gonna acknowledge everybody in here.
Knowledge everybody.
Now you have been acknowledged, and I am so sorry. Here, I'm gonna acknowledge you one more time.
Acknowledge me.
There you go.
Hmm. This gentleman asked for help, actually. So my mom kept my uncle's ashes in a wooden box. She custom made. Inside the box, um, the ashes are so everything's glued shut. He passed away in 2016. We've all had sensed him even since then. My mom went to Virginia Beach a week ago, but mentioned bringing him. When she went to grab his ashes, they were unglued because I guess the bag was glued to the box that the
Mhm.
ashes were in. They were out of the box that they were glued in and spread inside the bigger decorative box. Since then, we've had really weird stuff happening. The sink will randomly turn on, lights turn on, banging noises on the windows, things moving, etc. Is this bad? Can or will it stop? Are we in danger? Ask this question. People when they start experiencing weird stuff go like, "What the hell is going on? Um,
Right.
I need help."
Um, I'm trying to read into that.
I don't know. I don't know how the ashes got. So she made a box. She had the ashes, I guess, in like a bag, which she
Uh-huh.
had glued to the box so it wouldn't fall. Okay. She glued
Right.
everything shut. The ashes are in that bag. Meanwhile, now the bag is open and not in the box, and all the ashes are dumped inside the box without any plastic. And now they're having all this strange activity. I don't know if it's the uncle or something else.
Right. It might be something else.
Yeah. Because
Right.
I
And
don't
it,
think the uncle would want to scare them. And if he passed in 2016 and all this time he hasn't done anything,
right.
you know, it's weird. Although she did say she wanted to take the ashes with her. Now,
Hmm.
did that mean she wanted to dump the ashes in Virginia and he got pissed about that? Or, um, was she just going to take them so he could be with them? I don't know. Like, what a weird
Yeah,
thing,
that's
you know?
that's really weird. It's kind of hard to call it.
Hi, Regina, hun.
Regina, how are you doing? Um, that's why I figured, I don't think it's that person. It might be someone else trying to get their attention, and they're not really happy with the situation.
Yeah.
So, um, the best remedy for that at the moment is to just pray for them.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all.
right.
That's all he can do for right now.
Um, Krista, really, the door opened and there was so last night when you were giving me my reading, my craft room door opened. There was no one or no, there's nobody or no, there wasn't a thing or anything around. There was no wind. Um, that might have been the landlady, the lady in the bush, or the doggies that they said were in your house protecting you.
Yeah.
Um,
Whoever it was making an entrance and wanted to let you know they were there.
oh yeah.
And what better way to do it than open the door?
Mm,
Mm.
I'm trying to look for one that isn't like, some of them are
Right.
kind of like,
Oh, I was just singing right with you.
I
Mm.
yeah. I think I'm being followed by a Selkie. Is that what you call them? Selkie. I know I just did a Sinister Sunday about those. Those are the things that look like a walking pair of pants or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think so. Let's see what this guy has to say. So I'm staying at a beach house near Port Townsend, Washington. I've been walking on the shore looking for crabs and sea glass, but every time I look at the ocean, there's the same harbor seal looking at me. When it sees me looking at it, it will go under the water for a couple of minutes, then it will come back. Um, what is it? And what does it want from me? And what should I do?
Wow.
They're all like, what is it? Why is it after?
Well, you won't know until you
Cecile
ask.
wouldn't think.
Yeah. And the answer to that is you won't know till you ask yourself, what do you
Yeah,
want? And that's all you got to do is just ask, what do you want from me?
it's true.
That's all you do is
A lot
ask.
of people say once you talk to the spirit or acknowledge it, it gets worse. But no,
That, and
it,
I agree,
it
that's not true.
no, like some people say, well, you started filming it. Well, yeah, if you're filming it, being rude to it,
Mhm.
maybe they're trying to get your attention, and now you're filming it and flipping out, but you're still not addressing the spirit. Okay,
Right,
uh, then yeah, it's gonna get worse. But
right. But if you
you
really
know,
want help and the answer, ask them. That's all you got to
that
do.
could be Robert. Yeah, it
Right,
could be. He said it could be the spirit animal.
right.
Sure.
But you never know until you ask. you know and some people, especially those that call themselves paranormal investigators that may have something going on in their home. um, a lot of the times they do things for the clicks and the views, and they won't address the real situation of what's going on,
Oh
because
yeah.
if they do that, it'll take away from them and take away from what they're doing, and their views and all that stuff. So they keep wanting stuff to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like when
And
people, take home haunted items and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, there's a little girl." I'm like, "Well, why don't you look for somebody to cross the little girl over?
right,
Why don't you call an angel or something?" But no, they just want to like exploit the
right,
item. Like me, I'll ask them, "Can I film you, whatever?" And I'll do some filming, but right after that, I cross them over. Like,
right,
I'm not keeping you against your will.
right,
Um, and I don't like asking them to do too many tricks for me, so I don't. It's more like organic. Like I went to that place on Saturday thinking maybe if we snapped some pictures, we might get a little orb or something, right? I didn't expect to get what we got. But I didn't ask anybody for it.
right.
It
uh,
just happened. And I was lucky enough to slow down that part of the film. If I didn't slow down that part of the film to do a
mhm,
voiceover, I wouldn't have seen the visuals on it.
right.
So it was just luck altogether on that one. But yeah.
Mother Raymond has a good story. She said,
Hmm.
a strange story of Reverend Dr. Astley from Rodham, England. He traveled to Algeria, had an accident, but was okay. But his ghost was seen at his vicarage on 3 occasions by his stand in Reverend.
You mean like so as he injured himself, then his like essence, his spirit essence, maybe
Hmm.
he thought he died because that could happen too. You're in a coma,
Right,
you're in the hospital, and you know, so his spirit was seen at home while he was in Algeria. That's super interesting.
yeah, because that would be almost like having a doppelganger.
That too, but if you're like in a coma and I believe, because I believe I've heard people speak on the spirit boxes who are in comas.
Yes,
Um, so I believe you can like teleport and do different things when you're in a coma because you can only use your mind, you can't use your body.
right,
So I would say that might be possible depending if he was like in a coma or stuff like that, or astral projection, right? I
right.
talked to the spirits and they said if you are nice or a friend and family of mine, you can stay, but all others will yeah, they'll need to leave, right? Yeah, and some people just pass through, um, or they're looking for help, and they know that a living person might be able to help guide them in the right direction, especially if you say you're a paranormal investigator and stuff like that.
Right.
So when paranormal investigators go, oh my God, I brought something home, well, they want you to help them.
Right.
Like, what the heck is your problem? They're thinking because you're talking to them, you can help them. And that's what they freaking want. That's why on all the spirit box you say, help, can you help us? Help me, all this, because they want help to get to the other side.
Right.
And you, like, of course, videoing them only and fucking with them is going to get you in trouble.
Sure is, especially if you didn't ask permission.
Yeah, So, I mean, there's some people who you could say, I just came to talk and we're just going to talk a little bit and then I'm going to be on my way. Sorry, I don't really know anything about this. I'm new or whatever, so that they understand that you can't help them.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Good
but
morning,
make sure they
Babia.
know that, that, hi Babia.
So yeah, and Robert hit it on the head. Astral projection.
Yeah, astral projection, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, because I called it doppelganger at first, but no, that would only be if you see yourself.
Yeah, if you see
So
yourself.
that's doppelganger, but that's what I meant. Astral projection. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I would say if you're in some kind of accident which throws you for a loop, you're in a lot of pain. I've heard a lot of people who they didn't die. Like there's all different things, but this person was terribly hurt and the pain was almost so unbearable. She would have passed out from the pain basically and probably drowned. So
Mm-hmm.
what they her spirit guide or somebody pulled her literally out of her body. She was like, I was looking at my body. I was in no pain, nothing. And somehow me not being in my body gave everybody else enough time because I guess because her body wasn't, because she wasn't stressed from the pain, whatever it was, they were able to get her out. And then they're like, okay, you got to go back. And she's like, well, I'm going to be in pain or anything. And they're like, yeah, but you're going to be fine. And they send her back. But they literally pulled her from her body
Mm-hmm.
so that she wouldn't die. I guess it wasn't her time.
Right.
Um, so is it possible though that you're so stressed or whatever that you're like, okay, I gotta jump out of here for a second because
Right. Right.
so yeah, it could be possible. I have a question. A lot, but it's nothing scary. I
Oh, well,
question a lot, but ignoring it, it's nothing scary. Well, I question everything. I question them, and sometimes they probably get annoyed at me. They're just
yeah.
like, sometimes they just like, we can't tell you that. Or sometimes I'll end up getting the answer, like in a dream or a daydream or a video later, like when I'm supposed to know it, I guess. So
Right.
because sometimes you're not supposed to know everything all at one time, I
No,
guess.
you're not.
So right.
And
So
and
this person asks a question. My partner told me that they see shadow people. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
The topic of ghosts came up last night when I was talking to my partner. I asked him if he's ever seen a ghost before. He told me that he sees shadow people randomly all the time and that it's been happening for years. He says he sees dark figures that are human shape, but that almost look like they're cloaked and kind of fuzzy. Sometimes they're in 2D or 3D form. He says he will see them just standing around, sometimes for hours. It is not um it's not a fleeting it's not it's not like fleeting in his peripheral moment for him. It's actually something he continues to see. He says they're harmless and that it doesn't cause him stress or anything. He does not hear voices or anything. It's purely just visual. He never experienced anything paranormal. Okay, well, that seems to be paranormal. But I do believe, okay, and I have never experienced paranormal, but I do believe in the paranormal. So I want to come in with an open mind, but I have never heard of anything like this before. Is this something for me to be concerned about? Is this a red flag? Do I assume automatically it's something psychological or a disorder of some kind? He's
Right.
not been diagnosed with any issues, but he says he sees shadow people that don't bother him. So my
Mhm.
question is, do anybody else experience this? Is it truly paranormal?
Well, a lot of people would say he might have a neurological or psychological thing going, like sleep paralysis or hallucinations. Um,
Yeah,
People interpret these things different, is what
yeah,
I'm
sure.
saying. Like we can call them shadow people, other people just call you crazy.
Right.
And so
Well,
it all depends on your belief system.
right. That's the thing because like when I told my sister about my 5-hour vision, she told me right away, "You have a brain tumor. You should go to the hospital." And I'm like, "What now?"
Right,
you know, for me it was a spiritual thing. For her, I was dying. And at
right.
this point, because they still think I'm crazy, I go, I would have been dead already if I had a brain tumor. It would have popped, it would be bleeding, I would be dead. So,
See, so that's what I mean.
whatever. you know?
That- That's what I mean. People take things like that differently. Some people will call them out
Yeah,
as shadow people. Other people will just say it's a neurological or psychological disorder that you got going on. They'll call it sleep paralysis or visual hallucinations.
oh yeah,
But we take these things, everybody takes it different. So it's not that you're crazy, or it's not like you're just seeing things. Maybe you are. But the question is, what is it? And it's you're
right.
dependent on your belief system. Do you
Well,
believe
that's
it was
true.
shadow
Like,
people?
even if it is like in your mind or something, if it doesn't
Mhm.
bother you, you don't do anything about it, it's not bothering anybody else.
Right,
Maybe it makes you feel better to know that your grandparents and everything and all the people from your past who passed away are around. Maybe that's your way of coping with it, and it's fine, nobody cares.
right. And
um you
Robert
know
Robert said, yet there's not just ghosts. Why did you come up? Okay, not that. It was a message that came in on my end. It said, uh, not just ghosts, there's imps and all sorts of demonic crap. You know what, Robert? And this is something you and Christina will agree with me on this. Not everything is demonic.
right.
Not everything.
Actually, less things are demonic than not, unfortunately. And as you could tell from what's going on in the world, people are the most scariest
Right.
of beings, dead or alive.
Yes.
No, but there is demons. They have their own agendas, which does not include you, unless you interrupt their job, which is most likely is not you, unless you're like some kind of serial crazy killer or something, right?
Right.
So it's not like the movies where the devil comes and makes a deal with you. This shit doesn't happen, right? So like, you have to summon them, or you have to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
And it's if you don't mess with that kind of stuff, they won't mess with you. It's kind of that kind of thing because their job is not us, really.
Right.
um what I find is, from what I understand, and this is just from what I understand, mostly the demons are going after, like I said, if you summon them and bother them, or they're going after beings that are not from this realm, that are dangerous.
Yes.
So that's their job. They're fighting other demons. Okay,
Right.
they're not
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're
they're
fighting their
fighting
own
their
demons.
own demons. uh yeah. from what I understand. But but there is a few times where you're gonna you go fuck around and find out, kind of thing.
And NH Girl, yes, she asked, are people who are on the neurospicy side of life, an example, autism, ADHD, etc., more likely to have these gifts? Most likely, yeah, yes. And I'm only going to speak on what I've seen so far with my own boys. Mainly our son Manny and our son Tony, both of them being autistic. You know, their sensories are different, but they see things that we can't. Okay. When I take the boys to cemeteries, um, Tony gets nervous. And when Tony gets nervous, he'll say, I feel funny. That means somebody's around him. Manny will point because he sees somebody, but Manny knows that we don't see him, but he does. So he'll point, and sometimes Manny will laugh. Okay, because Manny is nonverbal. So those are the cues that we get from the boys, So I think when it comes to ADHD and autism, they have a special gift that we just don't, because their brain is still in that child stage. Even though my boys are adults, they are still in a child stage,
Right.
and the energies know that, and that's why they can connect. And it's not bad energies. A lot of the energies that the boys connect with, they show compassion because they know that they're special needs. Even when I say these are my boys, Tony and Manny and Cody, they are special needs. A lot of the spirits already know,
Oh
and
yeah.
so they're more loving to them. So yeah, I do believe that. This is my own belief, but just by seeing it from my own kids, yeah, they have that gift. And sometimes I wish I had, but I'm quite sure if I had it, it would be a curse. But they have it. They just don't know how to deal with it or use it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh well, NH girl. Yeah. Like sometimes there's just places with, and it's not necessarily negative energy. It's just an overload of energy. So
Right,
you feel that in a different kind of way.
right, right.
My friend, I have a doll here, and she's not ready to move on yet. And my friend came in and saw the doll and was like, "No, I can't." Like, you know, she's like,
Hmm.
she's good, like, cause like, the energy is. I'm like, she has such an excess of energy. She exudes it. And a lot
Hmm.
of things don't because they hide. She can't. She's younger and she doesn't know and whatever. But to my friend, because it's so much energy, it was overwhelming for her. So she's like, no, I can't, be in
Hmm.
the room with her. I'm like, yeah, let's go in the other room, whatever. But yeah, it's just an overload sometimes of energy, even
Right,
though it's not bad, it's just too much,
right.
you know.
Very, very true. So yeah, that's just something to think about when you see uh, women, men, boys and girls, or even children with special needs. Um, that's just that other part of the brain that we don't use that they actually does use. So something to think about, and that's something I learned from a psychologist. That one part of the brain that we don't use, people with autism actually use. So something to think about. And I never thought about that until our Manny psychologist even told us that. This is why Manny can see things that we can't. But
Right.
Manny is nonverbal, so he won't tell you, but instead he'll laugh because they're making him laugh
Fun.
or something like that. How you doing, Yvonne? So and they're not gonna hurt them. If anything, a lot of the spirits are gonna try to comfort them because they know.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, spirits were people at one place or time. So that's why we treat spirits with the utmost respect,
Yep.
because you treat them like you see people that you're walking down the street. You say, hi, how you doing? And just treat them as such.
Yeah, because really, like my mother passed away, my father passed away, my grandmother passed away, right? They're all up there. Hey, Michelle.
Hello,
And
Michelle.
you if they needed help, or if they were a spirit and they came across somebody, if somebody was disrespectful to my mother, dead or alive, I'm going after them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether my mother's passed or not. If you tell me you came across my mother's spirit and you were freaking rude, I'm gonna beat your ass. Okay, I don't care.
What you say about my mama?
Right. So you know, I so because I know I feel that way, I would never,
Mm-hmm.
unless the spirit's rude with me or attacking me or something. Then all bets are off. But
Right.
if
Well,
I'm
see,
nice to you and you're nice to me, we have no problem.
right, and that's why I joke around a lot with spirits. Like I said, there were people at one place at a time, and I always feel that a spirit they like a good joke if you tell a good joke. Jen,
Yeah.
on the other hand, is very serious when we go out to do these things. Whether it's paranormal investigating, Jen is very serious. I'm the quirky one. Keep that in mind when you watch our videos. But we always get good reactions. You know,
Yeah.
and we don't disrespect any spirit whatsoever, and that's another good thing about us, and that's why we do what we do and the way we
Yep.
do it. You know,
Yep.
just treat them with
I
love.
remember when I first went out with James the Fam and we did a video, and I was talking to the spirits. Now he used to do the spirit box and everything, but he just used to ask them questions. But I
Hmm.
was literally talking to them like they were my friends, and he's like, "You talk to them so differently, like you've known them for years." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's how I talk to everybody." So the
Right,
way I talk to everybody who I can see is the same way I'm gonna talk to everybody I can't see, because
right, and
you
that's how you
know.
approach them. You approach them the way you would approach a person. That's
Hi,
all.
Jackie.
And yes, that is my wife behind me there. Look what she
Hi,
got.
Jen.
Look at
I'm
that.
sorry. I called you Jackie today, but Evie, because I just looked at the screen. But hello, Evie. Oh, he's getting big, Jen.
Yes, he is. Can't wait to let
Already.
him go.
2 weeks.
She's yeah, she's fostering him.
Hmm.
He is a pain in the butt. He is so rambunctious. Oh my gosh, too rambunctious. It's like having a newborn
Yeah.
that's constantly getting into everything.
Well, and it's a 10 minutes to 8, and I want to make sure you see that because I don't want to keep you over. I know you have another engagement to get to.
Yeah, and I do apologize. I'm going to be leaving a little early today, you guys. So yeah, but I'll make it up to you next week.
Yes.
I will make it
Hmm.
up to you. But
Yeah, and
hey,
are you gonna go live this week? Hopefully,
yeah, I'm going to go live. But
people are missing you. They're asking me, like they were like,
yeah,
I haven't
you
got
know
Eddie's
what?
notifications in 3 weeks. I'm like, he hasn't gone live in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and because we've been having internet problems, but I may do it sometime this week. Just go
Yeah.
live just for the heck of it. I may invest in your StreamYard too, because I like how you can do your intros and your outros. And I'm like, man, I need to do that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well,
So
and whenever you want to put an extra stream, you can literally we can set it up where when you have time and we're going to talk about something fun, we can literally stream on your channel too from here.
really,
Yeah.
so you know what? I might do that, and then we're gonna go live on both channels.
Yeah.
That would be dope, man. That would be really dope, babe. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
Before
because then everybody can be watching from everywhere. So
I
it
can
will be
watch
fun.
everywhere. We get them from both sides, and then we can have people come by both sides. Say, hey, don't go by
Yep.
and check out Christina. She's live with me, and then come back over here. No, I
Yep.
wouldn't tell them. Yeah, I would tell them come back. What am I talking about?
But it doesn't matter. Whatever channel they're on, we'll be able to see both chats in the stream yards. And,
Yeah,
then people who normally don't see me live
yeah,
can watch us over on your channel. And people who normally come here only will still be here watching. So it'll be fun.
yeah. I think it will be fun. It really will, and we'll
Yeah.
draw more. We can hopefully draw more people in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing right there. Draw more, and not with just pen and paper and draw like Bob
Yeah.
Ross, but I mean draw more. Robert Carr
Yeah.
said,
Draw more. Yeah.
thought as much, LOL. Nina Gunny, I'm just looking at the chat. Hello, Robert. Nina said, Robert Carr, I'm not sure if Gunny is going live, so I'll be over there and here too. Oh, so you crossing the streams.
Gosh, and when I have two devices running usually at all times, except when I'm
Mhm.
live. But yeah, I was watching the 21st Century Suffragettes, but in the background I had like a few of my other people running just to give
Uh-huh.
them some watch time, like I put it on to play and it's going.
Right.
Um, just to run some videos and stuff. So yeah, I do that all the time. That's why sometimes I don't always comment, but I'm there. I'm there somewhere.
Oh, I agree. Um, I'm looking to see what time. Okay, so
Did
this was
did you watch did you watch the video I sent you of my
yeah,
cat?
I sure did. It's only
Hmm.
a short video, but it was worth watching. I
Yeah,
wanted to
the
play.
full
I wanted
video
to
will
play it.
be on Saturday, but that's like what I caught. The rest is the museum. It's a gorgeous museum. I recommend watching the video on Saturday, but literally, I mean, it's amazing when you can catch something paranormal. It's not always long.
Very, very true.
I just put like what we actually caught, like that was weird to me. There could be more that I didn't notice in the video, so you'll have to keep your eye out on Saturday for everything else in the video. But that was just
Yeah,
what I noticed that was so blatant that it was. Hi, John. So, you know.
yes, I agree. And John, how are you doing there, sir? Let me acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So when next week we'll think of something. We'll get together. Maybe I'll call you guys. We'll figure out what we're gonna do, and we'll run it on both channels.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I think yeah, that would be a great idea. That'd be a great. What's the puppy doing? That. I'm sorry, Jen's watching the puppy. He's going in circles.
Chasing his tail.
Yep, chasing his tail. But as always, thank you so much for having me on. I'm
Thank you so much for joining us. I will, guys, hang out. Even though Eddie's leaving us, I will read a few more Reddit stories if you feel like hanging out with me.
Oh no, I'm still here. Because it's not till 8 o'clock, and I mean 8 o'clock our time.
Oh,
So
8 o'clock your time. So there's another
right,
hour.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought like 8 o'clock my time. So I'm like rushing. I'm like, oh, damn.
Oh, I thought. Wait a minute, you Russian? I thought you was
I
Greek.
forgot that we have different times. Sorry, guys. I was really watching Eddie's time. I was like, oh, we only have like 40 minutes.
Wait a minute, you Russian? I thought you was Greek.
Yeah.
What are you, Greek Russian?
Sicilian's just like Russian.
I don't
All
know.
right. Well, since we have Eddie for another bit, let's read another one of these. Let's see if we can find a good one. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna be here at least another half hour. I gotta get ready because the topic is gonna be about my great great grandfather, Robert.
Oh,
Robert.
nice.
Yes, that's what the topic's about.
All right. Minor but confusing and annoying repeated encounter. Do ghosts play pranks? Question. Is it possible for a spirit to go all the way to unplugging a device and then move it? Multiple times now, I've come upstairs to find my tablet unplugged at the end of my bed when I know for a fact that I had plugged it in. Um, I have a few porcelain dolls. A couple of times I have a sense that maybe they have attachments. Um, and I think they're doing it. Um, I don't think it's malice, but I don't understand it. Um, is she a prankster? Does she want to scare me? I don't think she never hurt me or anything. She seems mellow, but maybe now she got used to me.
You
So she
know,
thinks it's all haunted and touching shit.
right? I'm wondering though if she would have said, "Does it do the same thing over and over?" Because if so, then that means it's residual. So it's gonna do what it's doing whether she's there or not.
Yeah.
And because spirits like that, they feel that they have unfinished business. So whether she's
Yeah.
there or not, they're gonna keep doing it, and it's just replay itself over and over like a loop.
Yeah. Well, I feel that maybe, I mean, she had a porcelain doll. Maybe she didn't think it was haunted at first, right? And now the doll is like letting her know, "Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna unplug this." It's something not scary, but it's also something that will grab your attention, right?
Right,
So that spirit might just be letting her know she's there.
right. But spirits can play pranks on you.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, they can.
They can play pranks on you. So don't get it twisted. Yes, they can.
Hmm.
We've had it happen to us a few times. So yes, they can play with you. They can play with your mind, and they can play with anything that's in your home. Yes.
Yep. Oh, this is talking about residual. Let's read this one. Um, Ghost encounter, same day, 2 years in a row. For context, I live alone in a house by a seaside. Um, to paint a picture, it's not known for paranormal activity. There are a few reports, but nothing groundbreaking. I've never been a believer in the paranormal, but the first encounter was bad, yet I still didn't really believe somehow. However, when the a second encounter happened a year later on the same day, now I'm thinking there's something strange at play. I only moved into the house 2 years ago, and I find it extremely strange. If anybody knows uh, or has better knowledge of the paranormal and can help me understand this. First encounter, 12th day of April 2025. I sat in my room with my back door wide open to my bungalow when I suddenly, uh, like, I guess they were sleeping or starting to fall asleep. I suddenly woke up, unsure why, and I sat up for a second as I had a strange feeling in my chest, which is when I heard it. A blood curdling scream not too far away. I shot up and instantly armed myself and sat still. I heard it. Um, I heard it again, closer this time. And then I finally heard it again. Now it was in my garden. I shot up and slammed the door. I heard it again then, but now it got further away. I sat still trying to make sense of this. Um, but the strangest was yet to come. All the fire alarms in my house suddenly started going off. Nothing could have possibly triggered them. Um, they have they just turned on like right after this incident. I turned them all off, and that was the full encounter for that year. Now, this year, April 12th of 2026. This was extremely recent, and to be frank, I had completely forgotten about the previous experience. Again, I was lying in my room, yet this time I was not asleep. Due to a recent string of burglaries in the area, I made sure all the doors were locked, all the windows were closed, and there was no possible way of entering the house. For context, I have a stray cat that I often feed. She tends to stay in my house most nights at this point, and she was not in the house at the time, I'm sure of it. Suddenly, I heard the front door open, which I know was locked. I again armed myself and went to investigate, and just found the stray cat in the front room. I was obviously confused. I didn't know what had happened. Can a cat open the door? I don't think so. So I checked the front door, and it was locked. The cat looked terrified. She was just staring out the window, refusing to break her gaze with something out there. Yet again, all my fire alarms stuck going off. I shut them all off, and that sums up the second encounter. So, is this going to happen every year? Can somebody tell me what is going on?
Well, you just basically summed it up.
Yeah.
Um, have they tried to do? They didn't say if they're trying to do anything about it. They just
No, because I think the first time he wasn't even sure that it was paranormal. He just didn't know what the hell was going on.
right.
Now, this time he's like, wait a minute. It's the same exact day. The fire alarms, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm wondering if residual that day, because way back when maybe there was a fire, there could have been another house that stood there and a fire happened on that day that killed whoever that person was. And they
Right.
come back every time on that day.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too, and it's residual.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not gonna hurt them. It doesn't even know that he's there because they're in their own realm. So
Oh, yeah.
they're phasing him out. So
Yeah,
they're
I
just
find it
doing.
weird though that they opened the door and then the cat must have came in because it was like, hell no, I'm not staying out there with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they closed the door. Like he only said he heard the door open. And then when he went downstairs, saw the cat, he checked the door was closed and locked. So that's odd that just odd.
Yeah,
It could have climbed through the window, but he heard the door, which I find strange, Robert. And he said he locked everything because of the burglaries. So I don't know.
right. That's mm,
Hmm.
what can you say on that? Except
Yeah, like,
it's residual. He's not gonna bother you. He's just doing what he's gonna do, whether you're
yep.
there or not. You know, and the only thing you can do is just let him do it. That's
Yep. Useless fire alarms. Yeah.
it. uh, Babia said, pets or animals in general, even some plants, make sure any paranormal activities stay positive, good, and funny. They are great shield. Bad ghosts are super afraid of pets and children.
Oh, it could be. I would say, well, they say that cats are the guardians of the underworld. So I do
Right.
know that a lot of especially negative spirits are supposedly afraid of cats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna ask. Well, none of my spirits are negative here, but maybe they know. Anyway, Let's move on to this mimic in the house. Okay, I'm freaking out because I typed this 5 times, and as soon as I get close to being done, it erases it. So even the programs are going crazy. Today I picked up my sister from school early around 11:30 because I wasn't feeling well. My body hurt so bad I couldn't walk 2 steps without stumbling. My head felt so heavy I couldn't lift up my head almost from the bed. I was also ex- extremely cold, like freezing, shivering under the blanket. After picking up my sister had left the house to go to the store. My brother was still at school, and my dad was at work. It was just me and my mom in the house. I fell asleep around 1 p.m. because I just couldn't take it anymore. At around 2 p.m., my mom said she heard someone call out for her. Mom, Dad, come here. That's what she heard. As soon as she heard it, um, she ignored it at first because she thought it was me and my sister and we were fighting, and they wanted her to mediate. But soon after that, she heard it again and again, over and over, a couple of times. She finally responded and screamed up, "What's wrong?" because she thought maybe it was turning serious. But then it was quiet. After a minute, she heard it again. And then she remembered that my sister wasn't home. So she thought it had to be me calling out to her. We live in a 2-story house. She was downstairs, and I didn't know if she realized I was sleeping upstairs. She has muscle pain because she's a nurse that works the shift. She climbed up the stairs despite the pain. She came into my room and asked me why I was calling for her, as I was just waking up. And I said, I wasn't calling you. I was asleep. I'm just waking up now. So I said, maybe it's my sister. And she said, no, she's at the store. And I went to go back to bed. But I could tell my mom was a little freaked out. But she kept her cool and went downstairs again. There was no other noises. As I was trying to go back to sleep, I heard the light switch turn on and off in my sister's room, which is right across from mine. In the evening, I went in and I asked her, um, about was she turning on and off the lights. Um, but she was so shaken up. I asked her to narrate what was happening. Um, but from all the things that I could see, it looks like this encounter is with a mimic because my mom was very shaken up, but she really said it sounded like me. This is not the first time I've heard or felt things in my sister's room, too. Um, so we recently started doing family prayers again. Um, but I don't know what's going on. Can someone advise me?
Well, you basically just said it right there, a mimic. And
Yeah,
NH girl said the same thing, probably a mimic. Yeah, that's what it
yeah.
was. It was a mimic. So pretty much nailed that one on the head.
Hmm. Yep, but these poor people. Like, I should start a vlog. Like, ask questions for paranormal, and we'll offer some help. Mm.
Very true on that too. Ask questions. And it's good
Yeah,
to ask questions though, because hopefully you get the right answers or at least the answers you're looking for.
yeah. Oh, Krista, they can definitely manipulate electronics, right?
Yes.
Um, whether they're plugged in or unplugged. Like as long as they're on, I would assume.
Yes, that's what I told her. Yes, they can mess with your electronics, plugged in or
Yeah.
not.
Yep.
So don't think everything by chance.
Yeah.
And at the same
Hi,
time, though,
Natalie.
yeah, at the same time, I don't want to. Don't call it necessarily paranormal till you try to debunk it first.
Yeah.
Try to debunk before you call it paranormal, because it could be something simple. It could be something
Right.
logical. So you always want to pinpoint it first before you say that's paranormal,
Oh yeah.
because it might be just something normal.
Yeah. It could be. Like even when I found that stuff like at the when we went to that museum, I emailed the museum and I was like, "Hey, I was there Saturday the 11th and blah blah blah. This is what I got. What's behind the black screen?" Because I really wanted to peek, but I
Right.
didn't. But I want to know what's behind the black screen. Like, is
Right.
there anything? Like, because you never know. It could have been something the light caught, like, but even if it was a mirror, those things didn't look like, me, let's say, per se, or whatever.
Right.
But I asked them, like, so maybe they'll answer me, maybe they won't. I don't know. Um, the city is really weird about answering their emails. I've emailed them tons of different things on, about tons of stuff. The wildlife center about different animals, all sorts. They never answer me. They must, maybe they think I'm crazy. Who knows?
And
Um,
Natalie Wolf. Hello, Natalie.
but I mean, maybe I'll just have to go there again and talk to the guy, or whoever's there that day and be like, "Hey, what's behind there? Can I go behind there? Can I just stick the camera and video behind there or whatever?"
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, um, let's see what else we got. A ghost broke my nose. Really? Okay, let's see. I never
Go-
heard of that, but let's see what's going on here. I'm not sure how to feel, but I had a ghost knee me in the face and break my nose. It happened not even a year ago. When my wife and I were dating and first moved in together in our first apartment. My wife, then girlfriend, would get a lot of sleep paralysis and would have experiences at the apartment that would sound like things happening, or she would hear pages of books turning, stuff like that. It would happen when she was alone most of the time. And I told her it was probably our dog or something else. One time she had her cousin over and her cousin heard the noises too. I never heard any of it. But I did have an experience where my dog ran into the small apartment once, like it was chasing something and it disappeared, only to reappear outside the same day. So the dog kept chasing something around that wasn't there. Anyways, one day she told me that she experienced sleep paralysis and it felt like there was something that climbed on top of her and was trying to do something to her. She told me she couldn't move and she started crying like that it was really happening. And that was really unsettling to me um, because I didn't know what to think about it. A few days later, I was alone in the apartment and I had remember what she told me about that and I had got so angry and upset. So I started talking shit to this ghost. 'Cause- yeah. I started talking shit to the ghost and calling it all kinds of names, and then told it that it should fight me because it was a coward going after my girlfriend. Well, I immediately Then immediately after I said that, my knee lifted by itself and hit me in the nose and actually broke my nose. I don't have that much flexibility where my knee can hit my nose, okay? But to this day, I have never been able to raise my knee to my face still. So I don't know how that happened. I've thought about it for a long time, but I try not to give it much more thought. Nothing ever happened again. Um, I haven't heard or seen anything, but just wondering in case it comes back, how do you get rid of these things?
Wow. I don't know how to even respond to that because it's like you hit yourself in the face, but you called it a ghost.
No, like he literally said he was sitting there and somebody lifted his leg and after he was yelling at the ghost, he was sitting there yelling at the ghost because he was pissed and something lifted his leg and his knee hit him in the nose because this thing was lifting his leg or whatever. I mean, I could see it happening. You're cursing out the ghost, whatever. The ghost did deserve it because they were torturing the girlfriend. I understand the whole thing. Um, I don't know what kind of spirit it is, so I wouldn't know how to get rid of it. But if nothing's happened since then, um, maybe it decided to go elsewhere.
I just wonder if that was the case, did the spirit first? Did he first hear this before he got kneed in the face? Just out of curiosity. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Stone Stunner. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make it laugh.
Robert, you're so silly.
I'm sorry. When I hear something like that, it just makes me laugh. You say it's a ghost. No, you hit yourself, bro.
Yeah, you got so excited yelling at the ghost, you hit yourself.
Yeah, said you did the stone cold stunner on yourself, and you're gonna blame it on the ghost. What was you smoking?
That's right.
I'm just saying, because let me tell you like this, okay? If I was to tell you that a ghost hit me, you would think I was tripping. My wife would think I was tripping. Because the first thing my wife's going to say is, how's the ghost going to hit you? I hit myself. I mean, maybe it did happen. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'm assuming the wife who was flipping out about everything, maybe she was having some kind of sleep paralysis and things were going on.
Yeah, she
Him
heard
getting mad and yelling at the spirit, I don't know like what went on there, but
yeah, because first thing she heard was this. Just saying. I'm stupid.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but
Yeah.
we'll leave that up to it's your guys in the comments. Why don't we do one more? Ghost on the train. This happened in the UK, Robert. Maybe you know. I'm a train driver in the UK. A few weeks before Christmas, I'm working the late shift. Everything is normal and boring. And I've got only a few passengers on board. It was around 11 p.m. There's a particular route I drive on the train where the train terminates in the middle of the line, not the end of the line as normal. This isn't a rare, uncommon route. In fact, I do this roughly once or twice per shift. Hmm. The process we have is the staff who work on the station will walk the length of the train to make sure all the passengers have left. I then drive the empty train onto a small piece of track that's basically like a train parking lot. I make my way through the inside of the train to the other end where I can drive to back the way I came. Um, these trains have a driving cab on both ends. Okay. On the night in question, all this happens, as it usually does. The staff was checking the train, gave me the thumbs up, and said it was empty. Um, I opened my driving cab door, ready to walk the length of the train to change ends. And as I open the door, I see a woman still on board. This happens occasionally. Someone rushes on at the last minute and the staff doesn't see them. It's no big deal. We have to call it, and it usually means we get to drive back again ahead of schedule and even finish a little early. Bonus. This was a middle-aged woman, preferably maybe a Muslim woman, wearing a headscarf, veil, with part of it that covers the mouth. She waves at me through the second door, because you know how the trains have the doors, um, and kind of sh- shrugs like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know," kind of look that she gave him. I wave back and let her know I've seen her, and I turn around to collect my bag and stuff. Throwing the bag over my shoulder, I leave the cab and enter the train. The woman was in the second carriage. I couldn't see her, though, through the window as I walked through the first one, but I assumed she had just taken a seat. The windows are fairly small, and you wouldn't necessarily be able to see someone unless they were standing close up to it. As I said, this sort of thing happens. People are used to it. Her sitting down and waiting for me wouldn't be an unusual thing. I opened the door leading to the second carriage, expecting to see her sitting there, but she wasn't. She wasn't there at all. I walked the whole rest of the train. She wasn't on board. She wasn't on the train. It was as if she didn't exist at all. I've seen some weird things driving a train before. But this one sort of got me more than the others because of the interaction we have. The final drive back was a very unnerving one. Ooh,
Wow. Um, that's actually a good story, really.
yeah, and he wrote it so well, I didn't have to add
Right.
other stuff or, because sometimes I gotta switch it and you'll hear me stop for a second, like, oh, I can't say that, or that
Right.
doesn't make any freaking sense. What the hell are they writing? And I gotta decipher it. But that one was written so well. Yeah,
Very well.
yeah. And I had an experience with a ghost train. I don't know if I ever told you guys, but my son and I we lived in Long Island. So we came into the city to visit my grandmother, and we were heading back to Long Island. And we got to Linden Place or something, and they're like, "Oh, this train is out of service and you have to take another train, right? Or
Right.
you have to take the bus." So I'm like, "Jonathan, we'll just go over to the other side. We'll we'll take the train. We'll wait for the next train." Even though they said that that train to Bayshore wasn't running, I said, we'll get the train to Babylon, and we'll get on the train to Babylon from here, and then we'll transfer at Babylon to Bayshore. Okay, whatever. So we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Now,
Uh-huh.
there was a lot of people going to the buses. And I'm like, how weird. Is it going to take long? Like, it shouldn't, you know? Anyway, the train rolls in. It's me, my son, and a black guy on the platform station. The train rolls in. The three of us get on the same car. Okay. There's nobody else on in that train car. And when we got in, and you could look through, like, I didn't see anybody else on the train. Well, fine. I'm like, it's okay. It's But when we sat down, I'm like, damn, this is an old train, Jonathan. He's like, I never seen it before with wood. So this train had all wood paneling, glow in the dark exit signs. Like now, the Long Island Railroad has those signs that, tell you the next stop and everything. It's electronic. None of
Hmm.
that. This shit looked like it was old, right?
Right.
And I'm like, how funny. I'm like, they must be. And the first thing I said to my son was, they're probably running that nostalgic train thing because sometimes they do that. But they
Hmm.
normally do that in Manhattan. I never seen one for the Long Island Railroad, but I go, maybe they're doing that.
Right.
And the reason why I really thought that was because once the train started to go, the conductor came to collect the tickets and, punch the tickets. And he was wearing like a not the regular MTA thing suit. Like it had stripes.
Right.
It was like blue and white striped outfit,
Right.
which
Like
they're
overall.
all like navy blue suits that the conductors wear now and the ticket
Yeah.
people. So I was like, what the heck kind of outfit is that? I go, wow, they went all out because even the conductor's wearing the old fashioned. I figured it was the
Yeah.
old fashioned clothes,
Kind
right?
of like on Thomas the Tank Engine, Sir Topham
Yeah,
Hatt.
like they were wearing like old fashioned outfits. I go, wow, this is so cool. Okay,
Hmm.
we start going. The lights on the train close, and only the glowing exit signs are on. Okay, it stops at the next stop. The black guy gets off. It's just Jonathan and I. Nobody gets on. We go from Linden Place all the way to where does it get stuck? Between whatever the last stop was, I can't remember where what the stop is before Amityville, but it gets stuck right as it's going into the station of Amityville. And I'm like, oh, okay, right, great. Get stuck there for a little while. Fine. It finally, and we're in the dark, only with glowing exit signs. Okay.
Hmm.
The train and the conductor never came back again. Like usually they'll walk through once, and when there's other stops, they come back to check other people's tickets and go to the other side. Never saw the conductor again, right?
Right.
It gets into Amityville, and then they're like, this train is going out of service. And I go, Jonathan, what the frick is going on with these, all right. So we get off the train leaves, another one comes directly behind it, going to where we have to go to. I would go, oh, great. We get on it, we get off. But I was so impressed by the train and the driver and all that that I called the MTA the next day. And I said to the lady, I said, I would like to video. I wasn't ready. Like, I didn't know that you guys were going to have the nostalgic trains. Like, how often do you run them on the Long Island Railroad? She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I go, yesterday I was at this stop at this time. I got on this train at this time, and it had all wood paneling and glowing exit signs. I told her the whole thing. And she goes, ma'am. I go, yeah. She goes, that couldn't have been yesterday. I go, no, it was yesterday. My son and I, yeah. She goes, those trains haven't been in service. None of them. Not even as a nostalgia train. That model has not run on any track since the 80s, since the
Wow.
early 80s. She goes, 82 to be exact.
I'll be
And I
right
said,
back.
no, that's
Let me give Manny his
uh-huh.
medicine real quick. I'll be right back. I gotta give Manny his medicine.
So, guys, right away, I said, no, I'm telling you, I go, you have to, you have your strings crossed because my son and I got on it. It has glowing exit signs. I explained it to her like 8 times. And she goes, I'm telling you, that train has not run since 82. We have taken them all off the line. They're all in the train graveyard. None of them are running. None of them can run at this point. I don't think she told me. And I was so taken aback. When I told Jonathan, he was like, "What?" I go, "We were on that train, right?" He's like, "Yeah, we didn't imagine it." I'm like, "Well, according to the MTA, we imagined that shit, or we went back to the 80s. I don't know if it was a time skip or what the hell happened. Was it a ghost train? I don't know because the black guy got on with us and then got. So was it a time slip? I don't know. It only went a few stops, got stuck, and then let us off. I just don't know. So what do you guys think? I don't know. Going to need a lot of coffee. Yes. So Twilight Zone. Yeah, you know. And I'm like, I know they run the nostalgia train. She's like, yeah, sometimes in Manhattan, but the Long Island Railroad doesn't do it. It's the regular subway. Um, and that train is not the one that like she swore to me. I said, listen to me. And I go, what about the conductor's clothes? And she goes, what? I said, yeah, it was like a weird white cotton with like blue stripes. She goes, listen to me. You weren't on the Long Island Railroad. I said, lady, I live in Long Island, okay? Anyway, she swore to me up and down. There was nothing. There was no train. There was no special thing. There was no conductor wearing some weird ass clothes. Nope, not at all. So that's my ghost train story. But I don't know if it was a ghost train or if it was like a time slip or I don't know what happened. I really don't. I'd be talking about it forever, right? You kind of forget things. Like I don't have any proof. Well, my son was on the train too. I wish I could find the black guy that was on the train. And yeah, because then I had to do more investigating. So I said to her, "Hey, listen, then what train left at this time from Linden Place going towards Bayshore?" And she goes, "There was no trains that day that were running to Bayshore, or you had to take the shuttle bus." This is what she tells me. Meanwhile, I know the fuck I got home. She said there was train work. There was no train. I was like, it left. That train left me in Amityville, and from Amityville, I got a train to Babylon, and then we got off and we took the other train to Bayshore. She goes, from Babylon, trains were running, but not from Amityville, not from Lindenhurst. No. She goes, you would have had to get off at Lindenhurst and take the shuttle bus. Which true, everybody did except Jonathan, me, because I said, no, there's a train gonna come. We'll take it. Everything goes to Babylon. That's all I was thinking, and a train did come. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but yeah, Lindenhurst, So yeah. So I don't know. Linden Place. Oh, is that what it's? Oh, Linden Place. Yeah, Lindenhurst is in Queens. Yeah, Linden Place. You're right. So
I'm sorry.
what was that?
Thomas Tank Engine came in my mind. I'm sorry. I gotta keep my mouth to myself.
Well, because there's a Lindenhurst stop on the Long Island Railroad in Queens, but the one in Long Island is Linden Place, where you go from Linden Place to. Listen, they all have the same name, okay?
I got a question for you, Christina.
Yeah,
Where you live at now? Do y'all have a train station there?
we do, but we have the underground, the regular railroad up on
Oh,
46. Um, And then right on my corner is actually where, but you can't get on anywhere over here. You have to, it's a Amtrak
Mm-hmm.
that goes across, but you can only get it at Penn Station. Like it doesn't stop around here,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes through here. And and not only does Amtrak run on there, but they also have those like the trains that carry coal and all other sorts of shit.
Right.
Shipping container trains too that
Right.
go on that track.
The Connex.
Um, yeah, but it's not like passenger trains, like regular passenger trains.
You get like those Connex freight trains and all that.
Yeah.
Like we have down here, a bunch of those here in San Antonio. So yeah, we don't have like, well, we have a train station for Amtrak, which is downtown. But it's not like really a station. I mean, it's just really standing outside a small, little dinky place.
Oh yeah, that's like in Long Island. They have those little tiny places.
Right.
But here, yeah, it's there. It's underground. Most of them are underground. On the other side of Queens, they have the N, which is it's N train, but they call it the L line because it's elevated. We
Right.
have an elevated train, but even that, the train station's big to wait for the train.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, so I got it backwards. So the one in Queens is Linden Place, and the one in Long Island is Lindenhurst. Okay, I got it backwards. One's in Queens and one's in Long Island. They shouldn't name them so close. Yeah, because I get off at Linden Place, with my son to go to his father's if we were taking the Long Island Railroad. But yeah. But anyway, that was my ghost train story. And like I said, it could have been a time slip because she said they didn't use those trains since the
Right.
82. So it could have been a time slip. She said no trains were running there. You had to get off and take the shuttle bus that day at that time. The trains didn't run for 2 hours. I said, no, I got on this train. Like she was thinking I was nuts. I'm telling her I'm not. I even explained everything to her, the exact train, like what it looked like, what color the seats were, like red. It had all
Mhm.
wood paneling, glowing exit signs. This is what the conductor was wearing. Like I described it all to her. I'm like, I can't tell you, I wouldn't have. I said in 1982, I was 4 or 6. I was 6. I was 6 years old. There's no way I'm going to remember and explain this to you. I told her I was there, But she said, no, it wasn't there. But
Well, I'm gonna jump off because it's
yes,
ready. And thank you for so much for having me come up as always.
thank you for hanging out with us and
Oh, I
giving
appreciate
your
it.
idea.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys are so wonderful. I am going to try to go live sometime this week. That's for sure. I missed last week, a week before last, because I hate our internet.
Yeah.
We're gonna switch over to Google Fiber. We're gonna try that out. A lot of other people are telling us about it, so we are gonna try to switch over. Well, that won't be till next month, but till then, we got to put up with this, internet. God's willing. God willing, please don't let it be another storm this weekend. We do
No,
not
no.
want, but again, I love you guys. Love you, Christina.
Thank you. Love you guys too. Have a good stream with blonde
Bonds
boobs.
and blues, yes. We're gonna
I was
go.
gonna say boobs. I almost messed that one.
Yeah, that'll get me in trouble. Blondes and boobs. Yeah, that'll be a porno interview.
Yeah, Jen would not let you do that one.
Right. Oh no. Two's Company, Three's an adult movie.
Yeah.
So hey, we love you guys. You guys have a great night and talk to you soon. Stay blessed.
Thanks, hon. All right. Should we read one more story? And then I'll let you guys go too. Let's see. Let's see if there's another good story. Okay. This is a wow. This is a freaking long one. Okay, here we go. I like the title. The Screams and the Woman in Red. Okay. There we go. Let me make myself, I was going to say, let me make myself tiny so you can see this adorable picture here. I don't know if I can make myself tiny. Can we make ourselves tiny? No. Anyway. No. Wow. No, I guess that's the smallest it goes. Anyway. Well, I was trying to make myself tiny. I can do this. Then it could be just like the ghosts are telling you the story. Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone. I'm a 19-year-old female. This is my first time posting in a subreddit. This goes back to 4 years. The house that I was born and raised in, which also happened to be the place I was living in at the time. It was being rebuilt completely as the house was more than 35 years old and and we were doing like occasional cheap renovation. For some background, my family was never the happiest or most fulfilled. My parents had problems, and my family of four lived together with our grandparents. The only person keeping the family together, well, or at least trying to keep the family together, was my mother. I could clearly see the downfall after my mother left. It was like she took the soul away from the otherwise spiritless building, leaving behind a house in the place of a home. It hit me after a month or two of her leaving. The place had a whole different feeling, a feeling which I quite didn't like. She was the holy force of the house, a spiritual and intellectual woman who could never hurt anybody. She took the life from the home without even knowing it. But again, maybe I just missed my mother. The rebuilding started after she left. It was midsummer. We had rented a small one-room establishment nearby in the meantime. The top floor of the house was finished first, as it was intended to be kept less for show and more for functionality. We moved into the top floor while the ground floor was still under construction. The top floor was very dull shades of blue on the wall and just boring. Now for the weird part. I'm someone with 1,000 different hobbies and nerdy pursuits. So I don't pay much attention to anything during the day. I'm busy with school and other activities. But every time the night fell, an unusual feeling of dread used to wash over me. A feeling of dread like I had never felt before. Sleep paralysis was not something new for me. I used to experience it every now and again up until my young adult days. But after moving back into the freshly built place, it started happening more frequently than ever, and it was more intense than ever. I would wake up gasping for air in the middle of the night, unable to open my eyes or speak or scream, and it felt like something was sitting on my chest. I could feel a presence that I did not like, sitting right on my chest before my eyes would finally open and I would wake up panting and scared. But by now I was used to it. I hated it, but I was used to it. But the strangest things started happening about a week after moving in to the newly renovated house. One night I was up a little later than usual, about 11 p.m., and that's when I heard it, a scream in the distance. I felt a shiver running down my spine as my body froze for the first time I heard it. There was no pain or fear or actually any real emotion behind it. It felt like whoever or whatever was screaming was just screaming for the sake of it. It was distant, but it felt like I could figure out the exact spot it was coming from. What was even more unnerving about the scream was that it continued in like a fixed pattern and in the same constant pitch, the same time intervals of about 10 seconds, the same duration of stretch. I did not sleep that night. It continued from about 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. I could not stop thinking about it the next day. It wasn't an animal. It was far from any machines I could figure out. It was a scream of a woman. At least that's how it sounded to me. It happened every night, the same time, duration, same routine. I could imagine the exact place the sound was coming from in my head, and for some reason, the picture of that spot kept popping into my head. The spot was right outside the back of the house, a very narrow alleyway between two residential buildings, often occupied by drunkards or shady men. The alleyway was a shortcut path to the main road that I don't think I had ever taken. It was completely visible from the attached balcony of the room my father slept in. Now, here's what scared the hell out of me. My father is the kind of man who watches the scariest horror movies in the middle of the night alone, just for the love of the game, so it was not unusual for him to boast about how fearless he is of paranormal stuff or act cool about it or jokingly. One day he told me, "You know, I have been seeing a ghost lady standing outside these nights." I didn't pay much attention to it. I thought it was another one of his jokes, so I laughed it off. But the screams never stopped. One night it was hotter than usual, so I couldn't sleep. I woke up to drink some water. As I walked to the kitchen, I found my father awake, watching something on his phone, which wasn't a surprise. He had insomnia. The balcony was wide open as it was a hot night. I stopped by his room asking if he wanted some water too. He took the bottle, drank some, kept the bottle aside, and asked me, "Can you see the lady in red too?" He said, pointing at the same alleyway. I froze. My mind went blank. There was a woman in red, standing still, very still, hands at her sides, head directly straight to our balcony. I couldn't figure out any minor details like her expression or face or why she was standing right under the street light of the alleyway. But that was all. The scream stopped after I saw her. And after I saw her and after the housewarming ceremony, and I had never saw the woman again, which I'm thankful for that. But thinking about it still sends shivers down my spine. I used to hear constant distant screams of a woman after moving. Oh, what'd she do? Write it again? Okay, that was her story. That was her story. I like the little ghosties there. Okay. I've also heard something about the Adelaide Aussie train station being haunted or having ghost trains. I'm gonna have to look it up for a sinister Sunday. Sleep paralysis is scary. I had it twice when I was a teenager. I only I had it once because I by accidentally stepped into in my dreams I literally went into a realm that was not ours, and I was like halfway in mine and when I woke up and halfway in that other realm, and that person that was in the other realm was grabbing me. So of course, because I was half in, half out, I um couldn't move or scream or anything. So in my head I just started screaming for my father because, he's on the other side, and I thought this thing wanted to do something not nice to me, and I knew my father take care of that guy. So yeah, and then as I was screaming for my father in my head, that thing they somebody pulled him off of me from behind, and then instantly, as soon as he let go of me, I could move. But when I woke up halfway in, halfway out, I was in my apartment, but it was like where he was standing, which is where like my legs were, and what he started having a hold of was my legs were like still in, like I could still see that part where I was in the dream, like it was super weird. Um, but yeah, that was more like not sleep paralysis. It was more like I fucked up. I didn't close a session, and ended up in their realm, unbeknownst to me in my dreams. So yeah, we fixed it so we don't do that again. But yeah, that shit happened. Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people, because let's face it, really until like the 2000s, people didn't speak about spirits. The new generation started talking about it, which let everybody else talk about it. But still, even then, older people would not talk about it. Because if you mentioned spirits or anything in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, early 90s, they're sending your ass to the funny farm. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts damn about it. So, um, you were saying none of that. But really, once they started with like, I guess once they started with drugs and not really keeping people into psychiatric places unless you couldn't function, um, people started talking because they were like, oh, they're not gonna send you to the funny farm. They don't have that shit anymore. They'll give you medicine, you don't take it, whatever, like so the consequences went down, so people started sharing more and more of their experiences and what's going on, and people started studying it. But before that, nobody was saying anything. And the older people still won't talk about it. Like, no, 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 don't talk about that shit now. Because I remember saying a few things to my mother, and she was like, no, no, don't tell anybody that. And I said, why? They're gonna put you in the funny farm. I thought. So yeah, there was a lot of things when I was younger I couldn't talk about. I would write poetry about things, and so then that would be like, it's fiction because you write like a fairy tale or something. So I would write it in like poetry or short stories, um, and that's how I would say it, because when you have these things, you have to get them out. You know. So I would write them down as like short stories or poems, as like, you know, not saying anything else, like, oh, it's poem. But yeah, yeah, Nina, that's what would happen. You'd go to the funny farm. So yeah, they weren't saying anything like that. And still to this day, people will. I got my Ouija board as a Christmas gift. As soon as my mother realized what it was, she threw it out of the house. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't blame her. My mother liked that kind of gypsy stuff, and I know she believed in spirits and everything, but she wouldn't use the Ouija board. She liked it, so she had somebody got her one because they knew she liked that stuff. My mother wouldn't use it. She threw out the planchette and she framed the Ouija board and hung it up on the wall as decoration so that you couldn't use it, but it was just aesthetic. But she wouldn't use it. But she had that shit hanging on the wall. True story. Yeah. You're gonna let demons in the house. Well, see, with the Ouija board, a lot of people don't know how to use it. It's not a toy. Like, that's funny. Yeah. it's not a toy, right? So if you don't use it right, and they're giving it to kids, you know what you could summon? God only knows. You summon a lot of crazy stuff. So I get it. But even my mother, who loved that stuff, wouldn't use the Ouija board. Nope, not a toy. Yeah, and they sold it as a toy. Imagine. And I think it said something like, because the pieces are big, so I think it was like something like ages 6 and up or so. And I was like, fuck is giving that to a 6-year-old? What's wrong with you people? Yeah. Uh-oh, you used it? You shame on you. Usually the nasty things wait for you to call upon them, you know. Because see, here's the thing that I tell everybody. People are like, well, how come like you use your pendulum? How come, that's okay, but not the Ouija board, let's say. And I say, well, I tell my spirit guides, I only want you to use this pendulum. And I have a pendulum for just my spirit guides to use. I'm like, don't let anybody touch it. And then I have one that anyone can use. Like, and I'm like, okay, this you can let somebody else talk on. Um, if they want to say something. But now I could hear them, so they don't. I just use the pendulum more for aesthetics for other people because I don't really need it anymore. Um, but when you're doing the Ouija board, if you don't, you're opening a door. Anybody can walk through it. Anybody. Right? You're starting the connection. You're asking for somebody to talk to you because most people don't say, hey, I want just my mother to come through. No, they're like, can anybody come through? Is my mother there? Can anybody talk to, right? So you're calling anybody and you're giving them a direct invitation to come talk to you. And that's why I don't like that. Not at all. I've actually had something bad attached to my spirit rods because I didn't protect those and I let anybody come and talk to me. Mm-mm. I did everything to cleanse those. And finally, it was so bad they just rusted. You couldn't even use them. I had to toss those things. So you couldn't even cleanse them at that point. He was cursing us out and he couldn't spell all. Well, doesn't sound like he was exactly bad. He was probably pissed off. I've come across a lot of pissed off spirits that were murdered, that all sorts of things, that were still mad about being murdered, mad about life in general, um, wanting to tell you their story, seeking vengeance for their death, all sorts of stuff. Um, you know, I had a 12-year-old girl. Everybody kept saying, yeah, mad. She was mad. Everybody kept saying that she was bad. And I'm like, she's 12. She's not bad. Poor thing. Her mother pushed her down the stairs, killed her, and the mother got away with it. She wasn't mad. She was furious. And then her mother gave away all her stuff. How I came to meet her was I found this pretty doll in a thrift store and I brought it home and she was attached to it because her mother, not even a few weeks after she passed, after she killed her, um, put all her stuff in storage and didn't pay for it. And then the storage got auctioned and then all her stuff ended up in the thrift store. Yeah. So she wasn't bad. She was so pissed that her energy was like crazy. And it made all the other spirits like uneasy because she was pissed off. And I don't blame her one bit, quite frankly. If I could have found her mother, man, I would have hit her. I just, you know, I was so mad actually that the spirits wouldn't even tell me her last name. Like I was like, listen, you tell me who this who this mother is, where she is, I want to know. I would have went there, but they wouldn't even tell me. No, none of that because they know. But I would have went after her. Oh, we're heading out, Robert. It's been 2 hours. I'm leaving you guys. I'm gonna see you again on Saturday, of course, at the 21st Century Suffragettes. But I'm also going to um probably go live with Danny on Saturday. Thank you, darling Babia. Thank you so much. I know it's morning time for you. You got your morning routine going. But yeah, so um yeah, I would but you can't be vengeful, I guess. So they didn't tell me who she was, but I was upset for her. I would have went and kicked my mother's ass because it was like she had only been deceased for about 4.5, 5 years. So I was like, well, her stuff is in a thrift store in Long Island. Her mother must live in Long Island somewhere. I'm gonna find her, Let's not do that. But I figured out how to cross over spirits, and she's on the other side, and I'm sure she's fine now. Victoria, that was her name. Um, but yeah, so you know, some of them are not necessarily bad. They're mad or they're Suzanne, hello, my darling. I hope it's only the story that made you sad and that you're not sad in general. And I hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, so I, you know, that's why I learned how to cross over spirits, basically for the kiddos who were like lost and mad and upset and just missing their family because they stayed here for their families and now all their family had passed away and they're stuck here and they can't go through their family's light, so when the mother or somebody passed away, they couldn't go with them and now they were like, how do I get home? So that's why I learned how to do that, so I can help them. Yes. That's right, Nina. That's exactly what I would have did. But anyway, that's how that goes. So thank you guys for joining me. Suzanne, we were just reading Reddit, so if you want to watch back, great. If not, make sure you stay tuned for Saturday's video. If you're not a member, the full video will go up Saturday of the what we caught and everything at the Merchant House, and that house is gorgeous, that museum. So definitely check out that video, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys will enjoy it. And yeah, Robert, have a good night. Everybody, have a great night. Thank you all for hanging out. And I'll see you somewhere on the tubes. So let's see if I can get an outro going. Yeah, what do you think? I'm sure we have an outro somewhere. Maybe.
Remember, please discard all candy wrappers and popcorn containers in the nearest trash receptacle. Thank you. We are so glad you came. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Is everyone gone? Huh? Good. Oh my gosh, my cheeks are killing me. I can't keep smiling like this anymore. I'm exhausted.